the most part, there are exceptions, of course, but they're not only unqualified, but on top of that, every medical person, whether you like them or not, whether they're on your side or against you, make money from the sales of vaccines, either directly or from the treatment of vaccine injuries. So your favorite doctor that speaks out against vaccines also makes money here. I'm not trying to say that's bad, but point out that no medical people should have a vote on an issue of quarantine and vaccination, since they will benefit from those measures. It might slow somebody down, it might not. I always lose legal arguments, I guess, if that was a guidance you needed. I think that's what I had to say. Make your voices heard. So who is going to ask questions? I think that's the next in line.
So you don't have to have the religious exemption? Yeah. That other exemption, the philosophical one, you know, we can start.
Okay, Dewey can probably answer that because he's in Montana and...
Some time ago, Montana did have a philosophical exemption. Unfortunately, the states, some of the residents of the states were not on alert enough to keep that from being lost. Our religious exemption is what you might call broad-based. Let me explain that a little, because this isn't actually a very important point. I know we have a lot of people here today who are true believers or something of that nature, but let's assume that you are not a true believer and you don't even like to be associated with those of us who might say we are. Let's start with what is a medical exemption. You take your child to a doctor and the doctor says, yes, I agree with you, your child has allergies. It says right here in the package insert that this kind of allergy should exempt your child from this vaccine, so therefore I'll write you a medical exemption. Now, I'm being pretty idealistic here because doctors mostly don't like to do that, but it does happen. So let's look at that process. The doctor has looked at something we'll call scientific to give them the idea that the vaccine may be harmful to your child. And then they have decided that the money that they would make out of treating your child or giving the child the vaccine isn't worth the danger that the vaccine puts your child to. So we have a combination of science and belief, a value, an ethical position. So when you as a parent look at the question of vaccines and you look at the ingredients, you look at the history of side effects, or perhaps you read in the Bible not to pollute the bloodstream, you are looking at a combination, again, of science and of ethics. If you understand that the vaccine may harm your child, you have to ask yourself, are you ethically obliged to refuse the vaccine? If you are, even if you should be an atheist, that ethics in the light of federal law that defines religion, those ethical positions, if they're strongly held, and they certainly should be, those ethical positions are the equivalent of religion. In Montana, you don't have to be a member of a specific group. So even though I would like to see the philosophical or other exemption added back into our exemption schedule, do not be afraid to recommend the religious exemption to anyone, because it's there for everybody. Thank you.
Please go to our website. Dewey has spent hours developing our religion page. It's really well put together. People are so appreciative. You could spend literally 8 hours just finding out all the ramifications of religion. How many people realize that being a vegetarian is a justification for avoiding all vaccines? They are not vegetarian products. Okay? So I just wanted to be really clear about that. But yeah, Dewey is literally one of the main experts here. Just so you know, he has done a lot of research. Just go to vaccinetruth.com and it's all network. It's Vaccination Liberation. But VACLIB.org.
Hi, my name is Kelly. I'm from Western Washington. My first question is for Ingrid. I heard during your presentation that you had no organization set up in Western Washington or Washington State at this moment, and I was wondering what I could do to help out.
Just go to that website I just gave and go to state resources, and at the top of the state resource page, I mean, there are a couple people in there, like Stan Lipton. I mean, they're listed, they're not chapters. Everyone says they're hard to get a hold of. If I were to go through all 50 states and call, some of the contacts aren't available anymore, or, you know, anyway, I know all the ones that are functional and the ones that aren't. I feel like this is one of the most important issues of our time, other than Monsanto taking over the world. But yeah, the right to own your own body and decide what will or will not be imbibed, injected, eaten is got to be the most fundamental of human rights. If someone could tell me of a more fundamental human right, you know, but anyway, this is how serious this issue is to me, and we are losing a whole generation of children. We even have stuff on our religion page of what vaccines do to your spiritual connection. Believe they interfere with the pineal and pituitary gland, which are your whole endocrine system, which is a huge connection to intuition, inspiration from God. So, I mean, this is a spiritual battle. I just want everyone to be clear about that.
Just have one last question for Dr. Tru Ott. Hi. Yesterday I heard a great presentation by Dr. Catherine Albrecht, and today I heard a great presentation by you. And an offer was made by her for you to present her some information, and I was wondering if you planned on doing so in a spirit of collaboration, I would hope.
Oh, absolutely. Let me be very clear that I personally welcome skeptics. I'm more than you ever know. There's many skeptics that hated me at first, now love what I'm doing, and now very much an ally. I would hope that that's done honestly. Okay, you should know that what was set up here followed an hour discussion where I made it clear to her that I would do that, and yet she still seemed to be wanting to take it a personal issue. So. Just so that you know, I have emailed her. Last night I emailed her. I told her how disappointed I was that she took that tack, because I'm not here to attack anybody. I'm here to, golly, she has important information, and I support her work. I would just hope that's reciprocated. And so we will give information. The information's free. You know, Ingri Cassel, much of what I know, I got from Ingri. Now, much of it that is true. You know, because she's, her place there in Idaho is a library of information. And so, yeah, I give credit where credit's due. But yeah, information's free, and we will work with her. But if she decides not to believe it, that's her choice. She's free. She's free to do that. Thank you. Thanks for the question.
Other than the general kind of detox and self-healthy recommendation, is there some things, and you don't have to explain it here, but is there some specific thing adults can do to counteract any vaccines that may be wreaking havoc unknowingly? There's no way that most of us probably don't have that vaccine overload that we know what generation has, but we did get some.
Yeah, the biggest, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the vegetable juices, the organic vegetable juices is like God's natural cleanse. Turn that off if you don't mind. So yeah, that's a big part of my husband's cleansing, is doing the organic vegetable juicing. And your body gets used to it. I thought it was like really gross the first time I tasted it, and then just after your cells start getting cleaned up and you start doing it regularly, it's amazing how my body just literally craved it. So when it starts getting the right nutrients and everything, so just organic vegetable juicing will cleanse your body and get you prepared, definitely.
Yeah, I second that. More miracles with the juice man.
Yeah. See, all my husband does is does a little degreasing for you, because the toxins are deep cellular level, so he just has the wisdom of how to help you get them out. It's just it'll take longer just juicing, so he just expedites it for you in a 3-week program.
Well, like I said before too, with this particular vaccine being a novel, it all depends on what level of squalene is in it. I don't know of anything to balance out